And next, now we are going to start with tenses. So I hope all of you have done the tenses, but today we are going to learn tenses with very deep things. So how we are going to do it in such a way so that you will be able to recognize it, that how and when you are going to use it, which formula you need to. Yes, in every class or in every video, what you can see is that you can easily be able to understand or easily be, I mean to say that formulas are available everywhere, whether it is on Google or YouTube. But the point is, when to use these formula, we people don't know. So today we are going to start with the uses of formula, when we are going to use this formula. So before telling you the uses and everything about the tenses, let us talk about the tenses first. So whenever we are talking about the tenses, we need to keep in mind is it always deals with time. Tenses basically talks about time, at what time that particular action has took place. Okay, so whenever you are talking about tenses, first thing that will strike to your mind is time. Okay, so here we have, yes, obviously if we talk about this world, this universe, or we talk about the time, we have the three things. We talk about the past, or we talk about the present, or we talk about the future. Only three criteria or three types are there in which we can deal with the time. Yes, obviously it is the past, present and the future. So today we are going to start with the present tense. So before starting or before telling you the formulas or what thing you need to use whenever you are talking about the present tense, I would like to tell you that when you need to use the present tense. So, present tense, yes, we all know that present tense deals with the present time. Basically, it talks about the present time, that the time which is here particularly. But now, we have so many types of tenses in the present tense also. A present tense itself carries its different parts. So today we are going to start with the simple present tense, which talks about that when, or we can say what are the uses of that particular simple present tense. So it talks about the habitual actions. हमेशा जब भी हम कोई भी चीज की बात करते हैं, which is in our habit, so we need to use the formula of simple present tense in that particular thing. Okay, so when we talk about the permanent truths, which is permanent, which is the fact. For example, sun rises from the east. So sun will never rise from the west or from the north or from the south. So this is the fact, this is the permanent truth. So whenever we are talking about the truth which is permanent, which is not going to change for anyone in this world, we need to talk about the present tense, simple present tense. And next we have the use of simple present tense in such way that fact which is true at the time of speaking. Like if I talk about, or if I am telling you something at particular this, I mean to say sun rises from the east. This is the permanent truth. This will not change. But the point is, I live in Faridabad. Okay, so here I live in this at particular time. At this time, yes, this is the truth that I live in Faridabad. But this truth can change. But the point is, if we are talking about someone or something which is true at this point of time, it means we need to use the formula of simple present tense in that particular situation. Okay, so let's come to the formula. I hope you all have understood the uses of simple present tense, that when we need to use the formula of simple present tense, what will be the situation at a particular time that we need to, when it is necessary to use the formula of simple present tense. So next we have the four types of sentences, I hope you all know, and in which we have, first we have the positive sentence, I mean to say we have the basic sentences, simple sentences, or we can say. We have the formula for this is, we need to talk about the subject first, then we need to use the V1, which is the first form of verb, or you can say the root form of verb, and then we need to add S or ES to it. Okay, so first it is subject, then V1, which is the root form of verb, and then we need to use or we need to put S or ES along with that. But you need to keep in mind is whenever you are talking about something or any subject which is singular, you need to add S or ES to the verb. But if we are talking about the subject which is not singular, I mean to say if it is plural, then no need to add S or ES to the verb, simply use V1. Okay, so I will connect each type of sentence with all these three situations. How we will do is, for example, if I talk about the habitual action. So habitual actions are the actions which is there in our habit. So I will say Ram wakes up in the 8 o'clock in the morning. So here I am telling you the habitual action of Ram, that Ram wakes up at 8 o'clock in the morning. And if I will give you the example of the plural subject, I will say they play cricket every day. So it is their habit. So I am talking about the habitual actions. So again, if I talk about this thing, habitual actions in negative sentences, what we can do is, we need to add do not and does not in place of S or ES, and then we need to write the first form of verb. But you need to remember that whenever we have singular subject, we need to use does, and if we are using does, we will not add S or ES to V1. But if we are talking about the subject which is plural and you need to use do not with it, and you no need to add S or ES to V1, as already I have told you in this positive sentence. So example for habitual action of this, he does not wakes up early in the morning. Okay, so he does not wake up early in the morning states that उसका habitual action है, और इधर does not के साथ मैंने V1 लगाया simply. But if I talk about they do not wake up early in the morning. So they do not wakes up. Okay, so what you need to keep in mind is that with plural you need to use do, and with singular you need to use does. Okay, so you will not add S or ES to V1 at any case. Next we have the interrogative sentence, in which you need to use do and does, and then you need to add subject and then V1, and at last you need to write the question mark. You need to put the question mark. So for example, if I talk about interrogative sentence, do he wake up early in the morning, or do they, it is does he wake up early in the morning? And if I use plural, so I will say do they wake up early in the morning. If I talk about the interrogative negative sentence, we need to use do, does, subject, not, and then V1. So I will say do they not wake up early in the morning, or does he not wake up early in the morning. So I hope you all have understood this habitual part, and what you need to keep in mind next is that if we talk about the permanent truths, so if we talk about something which is the positive sentence, so I will say permanent truth, if I can say sun rises from the east, or the sun does not rise from the west, or we can say does the sun rise from the east, or we can say does the sun not rise from the east. Next, if I talk about the fact which is true, I hope you all have understood this thing. And if you have any doubt or anything in your mind regarding this, and you are unable to understand all these things, and if you want me to explain it any more, you can just tell us in comment section, and if you have any doubt or anything, just tell us comment section and we will try to solve it as soon as possible. Present continuous tense. From the word continuous itself, you can you can understand that continuous means something which is in continuation. You cannot say it has happened in the past, or whether in the future, or whether in the present. What you can say that it is going on process. It is being continued. Okay, so present continuous basically talks about the continuation of the things, continuation of the action. So let us start with the uses of present continuous tense. The first use of present continuous tense talks about what is going on at the time of speaking. For example, if I am teaching right now, so I am using the present continuous tense because right now I am teaching. So what is going on at the time of speaking, you must use the formula of present continuous tense at that particular moment. Okay, so next use what we have written here is action may not going on at the time of speaking but going on in general. What this use states? This use states that it talks about like, yes, it is not happening right now at this particular place, but in general it is happening. For example, the pandemic situation is going on in this country. So basically it is, yes, we know that. Or another example I can give you is that the builder is building the house. So the builder is building the house. Builder is not building a house there. That if I say builder is building my house in Lucknow. So he is building that particular house in Lucknow, but it is not happening right now at this point of time at this particular place. But it is happening at some other place. It is happening somewhere in general. So whenever you have these two situations, you must use the formulas, the rules of present continuous tense. Let us come to the formulas, or we can say the rules of present continuous tense. Firstly, I have divided the formulas, or we can say the rules, into the 4 types of sentences. And for example, if I talk about the positive, negative or interrogative negative sentences, which formula you need to use. Okay, so first we have the positive sentences, in which you need to keep in mind is, first of all, you need to write the subject, then you need to write is MR, then V1, and one major thing that you need to keep in mind every time whenever you are using the rules of present continuous tense, and the thing is that it goes on with the root form, means we need to use the first form of verb along with ing. If you are not using V1 and ing, your rule is completely wrong. So basically this continuation of process based on the V1 and the ing. Okay, let's start with the positive sentences. Subject is MR, V1 and ing. Is basically used with the singular subject and is used with the subject when your subject is I. Okay, or we can say R is used with the subject which is plural. So, and then you need to write the verb form, the first form of the verb, and then you need to add ing to the first form of verb. Okay, so let's start with an example. If I say he is dancing right now, or they are dancing, or I am dancing. So I hope it is clear to you. And next week, if we talk about the negative sentences, all of us knows about the negative sentences. Next we have the rule of subject is MR. You need to add not to the sentence, and again it is same V1 and ing. So subject, if I talk about the subject is singular, we need to use is. Again, if the subject is I, we need to use am with it. And if the subject is plural, then we need to use are with that. So let's have an example of this. He is not dancing. I am not dancing. They are not dancing. Again, if we come to the interrogative sentences, in which you need to keep in mind is that here we are using is MR as a helping verb, but here is MR will come at the first place of the sentence, and you need to make the first letter of the sentence capital. I need to say the first letter of the sentence should be capital every time. So what you need to keep in mind is whenever you are using letter always capital. So is he dancing, or am I dancing, or are they dancing? Okay, so next we have the interrogative negative sentences in present continuous, in which we have the formula is, am, are. Then you need to add subject to the sentence, then not, then V1 and ing. In interrogative and not in negative interrogative sentences, you need to keep in mind the basic thing that the end should always, I need to say we need to end the sentence with the question mark. Question mark is compulsory because without question mark you cannot end any interrogative sentence. Okay, so here we can make a sentence, or we can give an example through this. Is he not dancing? Am I not dancing? Are they not dancing? I hope you have understood the present continuous tense. Let's go ahead with the perfect tense, the present perfect tense, in which again I have written some uses, and then we will come to the formula part or the rules part. So here we have the uses of present perfect tense, in which you need to keep in mind is, the first formula is action which has just been completed. जो भी काम अभी complete हुआ है, for that we need to use the formula of simple present present perfect tense. And if we need, and next use is when the action is begin in the past but it has completed just now. Okay, so next is time of incident happened in the past. जब भी कोई बात हम करते हैं जो कि past में हुई थी, like we have visited Kedarnath last year. Okay, so I am using the formula of present perfect tense here. At last, when any sentence have yet in it and it is a negative sentence, then we need to use the present perfect tense. How we can use it? Like he has not come yet. He has not come yet from the office. Okay. So let us come to all the types of sentences we have. First we have the positive sentence, in which we need to use the subject, then has, have, then V3. So let's start with this. He has completed his work. Okay. Or if we say they, if the subject is plural, we will use have with it. So they have completed their work. In negative sentence, he has not completed his work, or they have not completed their work. Or in interrogative sentences, if I say, we have has, subject, not, and V3, and at the end what you need to keep in mind is that the sentence should always end with a question mark. So let's start with an example. Has he completed his work, or have they completed their work? In interrogative negative sentences, we have has, have, subject, and not, and then we have V3, and at the end we need to use the question mark. Why? Because it is a negative interrogative sentence. So has he not completed his work, or have he not completed his work? I hope you all have understood the present continuous, its uses, and the perfect present tense and its uses along with its rule. And now we are going ahead with the perfect continuous tense, means present perfect continuous tense and its uses. It is used with the action which has begun in the past but is still continuing. Means we need to talk about something which has already begun in the past but is still continuing in the present. जो past में शुरू हो चुका है but still it is continuing. अभी भी हो रहा है present में. So let us come to the rules of the past perfect continuous. In this we need to keep in mind is that we need to combine the rules of perfect tense and the continuous tense, and how it will work. Let's come here. So we have the first rule of positive sentence, which states subjects plus has or have been V1 plus ing. For example, if I say he has been working since 2 o'clock. Okay, or in negative sentence we can say he has not been working since 2 o'clock, or in interrogative sentence we can say has he been working since 2 o'clock, or negative interrogative sentence we can say has he not been working since 2 o'clock. But one thing that you need to keep in mind whenever you are talking about the present perfect continuous, one thing is that it is always used, we should always have since or for in the sentence. Why? Because you need to, whenever you are talking about any action or any situation which is already begun in the past and still it is continuing, we need to use two words which is since and for. So basic difference between when to use since and when to use for, I'll just tell you that since is used for the particular time from which that thing or that action has been started. For example, he has been working since 2 o'clock, means he has started that work at 2 o'clock and now he is still working. Okay, but for is used for the duration of time. Kitne time tak? For example, I can give you, he has been working for 2 hours. Means that wo 2 hours se, means 2 ghante se he is working. So I hope you all have understood all the parts of present tense, which is the simple present, the present continuous, present perfect tense, and the last one is present perfect continuous. So let us come to the past tense. So as from the word past, we can suggest that we can get to know that something which has happened in the past, जो past में हो चुकी है. And we have the 4 parts in the past tense, which is the simple one, the past continuous, the perfect past perfect, and the past perfect continuous. So let us begin with the simple past tense. In simple past tense, again I am telling you that we have 4 types of sentences and we are going to start with these rules. And before that, I would like to tell you the uses, at what point of time you need to use these rules of simple past tense. So anything which any situation or any sentence which talks about the past event, जो पहले के event की बात करता है, it deals with the simple past tense. Okay, so if we talk about the habit of someone which he has in past but not right now. Okay, so if we talk about any historical event, if I say India got independence in 1947. Okay, so I am telling this thing, I am telling the historical event which has already been happened in the past. Okay, so this deals, the uses of past tense depend on these 3 things. And let us come to the rules of past tense. First, we will talk about the positive sentence, in which you just need to talk about the subject and the second form of the verb. So, he danced last night. He danced in the party last night. Okay. So next, if I talk about the negative sentence, subject, did not, and we will. Always remember, whenever you are using did in any sentence at any point of time, if you are using did, along with that you will not use V2 or V3. You will always use V1, which is the root form of the verb. So in negative sentence, you will say, he did not dance in the party last night. Okay, is it clear that whenever you are talking about the negative sentence, or if at any point of time in life you are using did, you will not use V2 or V3, you will use V1 always. Okay, so let's come to the interrogative sentence. Did, subject, and V1, and along with that you need to end the sentence with the question mark. Did he dance last night? Or interrogative negative sentence, did he not dance in party last night? So what you need to keep in mind basically is, whenever you are talking about the positive sentence, you need to simply use the second form of the verb, and in other sentences, whether it is negative, interrogative, or interrogative negative, you need to use the word did, and along with that you will never use V2 and V3. What you will use is V1. So next, coming to the past continuous tense. In past continuous tense, what you need to keep in mind, something which has happened in the past or which was going on in the past at particular point of time. Okay, so let's come to the uses of past continuous tense. Past continuing action, as I have already told you, you need to keep in mind that some action which was continuing in the past. It is always used with this past tense is used with the words always or continually or etc. Okay, so let us come to the parts of sentences, the four types of sentences we have. We have in the positive sentence we have the rule subject, was, were, V1 and ing. Was is used for the singular subject and were is used for the plural subjects. So subject, for example, he was dancing or they were dancing. In negative sentence you can say he was not dancing or they were not dancing. Or in interrogative sentence, was he dancing along with the question mark at the end. In negative interrogative sentence, was, were, subject, not, V1 plus ing. So here we have the example. Was he not dancing last night, or anything you can add. So I hope you all have understood the past simple past tense and the past continuous tense. And now we are going to start with past perfect tense. So let us come to the all types of sentences. In perfect tense, as I have already told you, that you need to keep in mind is that something which has been started since long and it has just completed now. So let's have a past perfect sentences and the rules. So in positive sentence, we need to keep in mind is subject had plus V3. So he had completed his work. So in negative sentence we have he had not completed his work. In interrogative sentence we can say had he completed his work, and we need to end the sentence with the question mark. And next we have the negative interrogative sentence, in which we need to keep in mind is had plus subject plus not plus V3. At the end we need to write the question mark, and then it is had he not completed his work. I hope you all have understood this perfect tense. And next coming to the perfect continuous tense. As I have already told you that you need to combine the perfect and the continuous tense to make a perfect continuous tense. In past tense also we need to keep in mind these rules. So in positive sentence we need to say subject had been, V1 plus ing. So it is he had been working since last 2 years, or since, no, not last 2 years, since 2019 we can say. Or he had not been working since 2019, and in interrogative sentence we can say had he been working since 2019. Or in negative interrogative sentence we can say had he not been working since 2019. I hope you all have understood the all types of past tense, which is the simple past, the past continuous, the past perfect tense and the past perfect continuous tense. Future tense. So what does the future basically talks about? As you all know, future basically talks about something or some action which has been done in or which will happen in future, means which will happen in that what is it is called Bhavishya Kal. Okay, so we are going to talk about that. So in just like the other tenses, we have four parts, that is the simple, continuous, perfect and the perfect continuous. So today we are going to start with the simple tense first. What does the simple tense talks about? You all of you know, as we have already discussed in the previous video. And today as we all know, we have the four parts of each part of sentence, and that are the four types of sentences we talk about here. So first we are going to start with the positive sentence. In positive sentence we have the subject, will, shall and plus V1. For example, if I talk about the positive sentence, I'll say he will finish his work. Okay, so always remember in simple tense of future, what we need to keep in mind is that we need to to talk about, or we need to use the first form of the verb, or we can say the root form of the verb. Next we have the negative sentence of simple future tense. So it is subject, will, shall, not, or V1. And always remember, will is used with everything. And if at some point of time you want to use shall, you can use it with I or we. Okay. So next we have the negative sentence, in which you need to keep in mind, you need to start the sentence with a subject, then you need to add will, shall, then not, and then V1. So it is like that. If I give you the same example, he will not finish his work. Or if we talk about the interrogative sentence, as you all know, in interrogative sentence, the helping verb comes first and then we write the subject. So here again we have this thing, will he finish his work, and it will end with the question mark, that you know. Now it is negative interrogative sentence, which says will, shall plus subject, then not, then V1, and at the end you need to write the question mark. So will he not finish his work, and you will end the sentence with the question mark because it is an, or it is a negative interrogative sentence. So let us come to the continuous, future continuous tense. As you all know, continuous always talks about the continuity of the thing or the going on process. So again we have we have the continuous tense, and in this tense we need to talk about the continuation in the future tense. So we have the four types of sentences, and the first sentence, positive sentence, have the rule subject, will, shall, be, V1 and ing. So how it will work? He will be finishing his work. वो अपना काम finish कर ही रहा होगा. And then we have the negative sentence. He will not be finishing his work. And then again, if we talk about the interrogative sentence, it talks about the question. So the helping verb comes first, and then you will write the subject. So will he be finishing his work? क्या वो अपना काम खत्म कर रहा होगा? And then we have the negative interrogative sentence. It is I. Okay, so will he not be finishing his work? And again you need to end the sentence with the question mark because it is an interrogative sentence. Let us come to the perfect tense, and the first one is positive sentence, in which you need to write the subject first, then again will, shall, and along with will, shall, now here we were writing be, we need to write have. Okay, so he will have finished his work. उसने अपना काम खत्म कर लिया होगा. Or if we talk about the negative sentence, so its subject will, shall, have, not, and V3. So he will have not, no, it's not like that. He will not have finished his work. Okay, it will work like that. And next we have interrogative sentence. Will he, oh sorry, yes, it is okay, it is okay. Will he not have finished his work, as it is a question sentence, interrogative sentence. Next, coming to the interrogative negative sentence, in which you need to talk about the will, shall, which is the helping verb, and then you need to write the subject, and then it is not, have, and V3 at the end. So it is will he not have finished his work. So here it is. Yes, we are right. Here not will not come. Why? Because it is interrogative sentence. So will he have finished his work? Because it is interrogative, it does not talk about the negative. Okay. So let us come to the perfect continuous tense. I hope you all have understood what does the perfect continuous mean. And so let us come to the positive sentence first. So it is subject, will, shall, have been, V1 plus ing. He will have been finishing his work. Or next it is subject, will, shall, have, not, V1 plus ing. Will, it is he will have not been not finishing his work. Next it is interrogative sentence, which is will he have been finishing his work, or next it is negative interrogative, will he not have been finishing his work. So here you need to talk about the V3 form, and here it is V1 form. So again I am telling you, he will have finished his work. उसने अपना काम खत्म कर लिया होगा, and it is वो खत्म कर रहा होगा. So I hope you all have understood the all parts of future tense, which is the simple one, the continuous, the perfect, and the perfect continuous.